Yo, what up, vendors? Welcome to the Vendor Booth. On this podcast, we dive into the world of being a vendor with a little BTS, a little DIY, tons of tips and tricks, and every now and then we chop it up with vendors from around the country. On this episode, well, this is the pilot, so allow me to introduce myself. Just as I was at that ultimate high with New York Comic Con, it was over. Had beef. I chose not to fight the battle. It was done. That was it. No more New York Comic Con. Now, I attempted to get my own booth, but I wasn't willing to shell out the amount of money that it takes to get a booth in New York Comic Con. I get home, here I am, it's November, I'm sitting there, my entire vending journey was like at a standstill. And I thought it was really over. But all the years that I was being an assistant and going into all these freaking places, all the networking that I had done over all those years, thank God that he gave me the foresight to network and connect with all these people that were in control or in charge of these shows, because I had names, numbers, email addresses, websites, freaking social media, which was later on, but I had connections. And there was always this one place that I felt was the cleanest place I had ever been in terms of a show. Had the cleanest bathrooms, which is really big. The greatest freaking environment. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to my man and see if he can help me out. So I contacted Seamus at Cradle of Aviation. And I said, Seamus, I need a booth, my brother. And he was like, say no more. I got you. And I'm like, oh, word? So when I'm thinking it's over, the journey begins. Oh, it's freaking go time. The brain is going. The creativity is everywhere. I'm gathering my product. I'm getting ready for my show, my first show on my own booth. And I get to the place. I'm in a great location. Everybody that comes through the door is going to see me because where I'm located, you are going to see me. And I'm there and I'm excited. And I'm like overly excited about the prospects. And crickets. I sell 4 freaking glasses the first day. Yeah. People was coming up to the booth and checking everything out, but there was no buyers. No buyers. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But thankfully, it was a 2-day show. And the second day, I kicked ass. Yeah. So I wound up being profitable. I sold a lot of units. There was a lot of vendors in there that had never seen anything the likes of what I had. I was the only vendor in there with etched glasses. And I noticed that this lane was wide open for me. I just did my first show by myself. I'm a vendor now. I get home. And right away, I get on the phone and I start booking shows. And I ended up booking around 10 or 12 shows, pop-ups, all kinds of stuff that I really shouldn't have been doing. And I go through the following year and I'm killing it. But I also realized coming towards the end of that year that I'm starting to burn out. Like it was too much, both mentally and physically, because I'm doing that plus I'm doing my day-to-day operations with Dismages. It was way too much weight on me and too much pressure. And I decided that I needed to streamline everything. What I did was I went from 10 to 12 shows to 4 to 6 shows. And I picked the biggest and the best shows out of all of the shows I was doing. It wasn't, the numbers are nowhere near New York Comic Con, but the shows are big enough to be substantial enough for me to continue to do them. And it's more of a quality thing with the shows versus a quantity thing. I got this lineup now, my vendor tour. I got my lineup and I start, let's go. And I start working the tour. And the tour is rocking. I'm freaking 4 years, like 3, 4 years in. Everything is going great. We smooth. I'm booking in advance. I'm learning everything that I need to do. And sure enough, fucking COVID. Man, freaking COVID hits. Everything gets shut down. Everything gets shut down. All the vendor shows are gone. The following weeks, those emails start coming in, refunds of deposits, some deposits held in escrow, because at this point we didn't know how long the shutdown was going to be. But then the shutdown becomes official. I lose 90% of my clientele. So I'm struggling. I don't know where the next dollar is coming from. I'm afraid that like I'm going to go bankrupt again because I went bankrupt in 2013. So I was preparing myself mentally for that hurdle and being ready to deal with that reality. And man, I'm saying to myself like, yo, what the hell? You know, I didn't want to stay in a negative headspace. So I decided to start looking at COVID from the opposite side, from the positive side. Well, what am I getting out of it? More family time, more like the relief of the daily stresses or the daily pressure that you put yourself under that you really don't pay attention to. Like you start feeling like, or at least for me personally, I'm feeling all this weight slide off my shoulders, even though I lost 90% of my clients, even though I lost 90% of my income. And I'm like, yo, I start feeling like it was the greatest freaking moment ever. And I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm sitting here one night and I'm just like, you know, I always thought about writing a book. I got mad time. I'm going to write this book. And your boy comes up with, so you want to be a vendor. And at first I was like, all right, so this book is just going to be a couple of pages, just some tips and tricks on being a vendor, and not even a book, if I'm being real. It wasn't the idea wasn't even a book. And I start writing. And this book really starts to take form. And I get an outline going. And now all the years experience are starting to, like, it's all starting to come together. And I'm sitting here with my pen and my pad and I'm just going at it, writing. I got 60 to 70 pages for this book. And I'm kind of like, wow, like, yo, I really wrote this joint. Yo, like, I'm excited. I'm like, yo, I really wrote a freaking book. So I edit it, get it down to 50 pages, do some illustrations, and put together a nice piece of work. And I said, I got to show some people. No yes men, because I don't show none of my stuff to yes men. I got some hardcore people that tell me straight up and down whether it's trash or not. So I show it to them. And the feedback is phenomenal. Yo, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. So then I reach out to my man, Big Brando. And I'm like, yo, my guy, I wrote this book, man. Here's the book. Tell me what you think about it. B hit me back immediately and was like, yo, the book is fire. Yo, you got some shit. Yo, there's shit in there I didn't even think about. Put it out. So that's what I did. I put it out and I let it fly. And sure enough, 1 sale, 2 sale, 3 sales. I'm done. I'm on cloud 9. Like 3 sales of the book is like $1 million freaking dollars to me. Like that's where I'm at in terms of like my excitement, and I'm out of here. I'm just out of here. And then the DMs start and people start hitting me up. Yo, I need your help. And the whole vending history comes full circle. And now I'm helping all you guys with being vendors or becoming a vendor. And I'm so grateful and so appreciative for the opportunity to be doing this, right? I'm just like, you know, and COVID is starting to die out. The doors are starting to open again. I get back on the vendor tour. The options and opportunities are coming left and right. And I'm standing here in front of this list that I compiled for the book. And I'm looking at this list. And the very last item on this list, which was a freaking like afterthought, just like, whatever, just throw it on there, whatever, is the word podcast with a question mark. Welcome to the vendor booth.